trying to get all of our. So I like look through all the podcasts, like artist people on Fiverr and stuff, and I literally cannot tell.
I saw like 2 or 3, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like like AI canned holding milk is better than.
I don't know. That was kind of what I was laughing about because I was like it felt to me like it's almost too embarrassing to explain it to somebody like that. That's the so
Yes.
I went through the name we got it
Right.
and I go through the all the stuff on there and at first I had sorted by because like for work I've used Fiverr and Upwork before.
Sure.
And I sorted through. Normally I only pick US based stuff just because it's like they're on the same time zone, they're same whatever.
Right.
These guys, like I'm going through here and I'm looking at the stuff they're doing, and one, it's like every single podcast art they're doing is like either like a religious podcast, like it's like
Really?
yeah. I don't know if I kept any of them up, but it'll be like it's like a multi-level marketing thing, a women's gossip podcast, and every single one of them is the same. Where it's like them like either sitting in a chair in like a prom dress, or like sensually laying on a bed with like a lingerie on, and it's just like it'll be like bitch talk, you know?
Yes.
And or it's a black woman that's animated or like like drawn poorly in that like corporate style with like an afro, and it's like very and or sports podcasts.
Okay.
Where it'll be like a microphone with like a soccer ball next to it or something. I didn't realize, and then I started looking at some of the other podcasts that I listen to, right? And I mean, there's like, I don't think it's a very high bar, I guess is the point.
Yes.
But so I went through it, and I did like, I searched originally only US, like people, and I changed my mind because one, they were like 10 times as expensive as just a like if you're going purely, Jordan Peterson, meritocracy, hierarchy of merit, they were not as good as this guy from Pakistan.
Really?
Yes. So I got home at like 3 and it's 5 right now. And I've been literally, as you were pulling in, I finally worked the courage up to describe to him via email what we want.
Okay.
So he just messaged me back. That's what I was looking at on here. So it's like,
what'd he say?
His name is Jimmy John YD. So Jimmy Johnid.
Jimmy Johnid.
And I mean, this stuff looks fine, but it was $30.
Dude, that's so funny.
Well, and I was looking, and he includes. So it is he apparently so it's the splash page and the art. So
interesting.
For $30.
What if like the whole thing is like, how everyone's like, oh, they're stealing labor from the U.S. and it's just because it's cheap. What if they're just better?
I don't know. This one, I mean, come over here and look at this. You might as well look. So this is him and this is his thing. So it's like specifically, just not. This is not great. This one's okay. This looks like if this was at like the bookstore, it wouldn't shock me, right? But you start looking through this, and it's like, I mean, there's at least a bunch of ones that are not the same. Is my point, right? So it's like there's a variation of it. Like this is whatever, and I mean, I told him what I wanted, and he responded to me. We could have this.
Ooh, wise words and whiskey.
We don't want to advertise for other people, bro. With our huge viewer base of my wife and one guy in like I literally think India. Like I was looking at the.
Well, dude, we got to rep Johnny G. Jimmy.
Yeah, shout out to. Well, I don't know. We have to.
Not
see.
Yet. We're not shouting you out.
That's what I'm saying. He's got 3,000 reviews though. That was another.
Wow.
He's a level 2. I don't know what any of this means.
What's the level go up to?
At least 3, but
wow.
So he's got a lot of experience in this. But yes, so
thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah, I had my my breakdown of the charted success. So exactly how we're going to succeed.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was the
quick sip.
The success is going to be. I wrote it down, of course. There's going to be 3 phases to this attack plan here.
Okay.
When we take over the airwaves and it becomes an NPR-funded thing.
Ooh.
Where they're forced to play it at like public buses and stuff, and it's going to be me.
Literally the best contract you
exactly.
get.
That's what. It'll be live stream. It'll be like that Donald Trump in the space station live streaming.
Yes.
Like it was it like 3 8-hour shifts of like basically indoctrinating people.
Yes.
But my it was the first one. I figure it's going to take us about a month and a half to 2 months.
Okay.
Is basically just going to be like, getting everything working, right? And figuring out exactly what we're even going to do, because it's like, whatever. You don't know.
Right.
Right?
Gotta see what it is.
The other one, though, or after that, it's going to be, I'm hoping, and my goal is within 10 episodes to maybe have 10 viewers. That's the goal, right?
I think it's cheap.
And after posting it, and I mean, definitely there was a person that wasn't somebody that I know that was looking at it, and then it wasn't like, because in my head, what I'm imagining, because I still think this is like gay and embarrassing, right?
Naturally.
That's like but I'm imagining one person will listen to it and they'll be like, "This is like the gayest shit I've ever heard."
You have to hear this.
Everyone in the world, and then they're going to be like, "Wow, you guys are gay," like whatever. And that didn't happen in the first week, so I think we're safe there. And then I think that based off of my study of other podcasts, I think we're going to do, basically from 10 to 20-ish is going to be where we try to establish something of like this is like we're in the groove and this is just what we do.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And then from episode 20 to 30, I think we should attempt to try to have something good enough to clip so that we can put it online. And then our domination begins.
All right.
I'm still going to post them, right? And like that first episode, we had a little bit of a safety net with it, because it literally only posted on like that RSS link, right?
Yeah,
like if I go in here, I didn't put it on anything else. It was just on there, and the second we get the art for it, I will be posting. I'll do the auto upload to like Spotify and stuff. But
I will be posting it.
I will be posting it. So yes, but I don't know. I always was like salty with podcasts, like Matt and Shane podcast and like Come Town and stuff, because I got in so late that it was like all of the inside jokes had already happened, so it's you
and then they just refer to those.
Yeah, but it's
like 70% of the time.
But then it takes me so long to figure out like what the fuck is even
Yeah.
like. I remember the first like actual Come Town clip I listened to was the Steven Seagal one.
Oh, really?
Right, where and I'm like, wow, this is whatever, and that like was what got me into it. And so, but I go in the comments because I was like, is this like, because I knew who Nick Mullen was and I knew whatever. I didn't really know anything about Come Town.
Right.
So I like, I go to the YouTube comments, and every fucking comment is just like, it's like, oh, like, these are my best friends. I love hanging out with my best friends. Also, I'm gay. And it's like literally like a wall of them. And I'm like, what the fuck is this, right? So it took me so long to even figure out like, the inside joke stuff. And I went all the way back eventually and like listened to a lot of these podcasts, like maybe not in chronological order, but like as close as I could get. Right. And I mean, they're like half of the stuff that people repeat is like basically like from the first 5 episodes to like show that they're like true fans, right?
I was here.
So basically, I'm hoping that in like, I don't know, 3 years, because that was another thing that kind of alarmed me, was looking at the length of time that a couple of the like really successful podcasts went before they had any level of success.
Sure, right.
Because like the Matt and Shane thing, I mean, they were barely like their podcast was not at all successful,
right,
until like 200.
That's crazy,
right? That's why I mean I'm willing to do it, and especially since I fucking got scammed by Riverside FM with their stupid trial that charged me too early.
Yeah,
so,
immediately.
Yeah, you guys are stuck with at least one a week for a while, but yes. So that is, I guess the point of it is I expect to see in a few years a bunch of like eat it or fuck it comments about aliens
100%.
on everything, ancient aliens, eat it or fuck it, like. One of the 5 times where a 5 times a year a former president's like, maybe I'll tell you about aliens.
Yes.
Eat it or fuck it. CNN.com, Fox News.
Exactly.
Eat it or fuck it.
When they finally release the files, and they're like, excuse me, sir, would you eat it or fuck it?
Exactly. So
I like
yes. I think that I figure it's probably important to actually explain the like name of the podcast. What the fuck is going on
you
here?
Gotta have to, because you can't just have someone roll up and look at it and be like, oh, what's this? That's retarded. A large glass of white milk.
Exactly. So it's Johnny, or what's his fucking name? Jimmy Johnny Johnny G emailed me.
Jimmy Johnny G.
He
Thanks,
emailed
bro.
me. So we, go to basically get enslaved by my grandfather and his like 100-year-old friend or every year to go to hunting camp.
And these are like old timers. These aren't like 60-year-old Vietnam boomers. These are like Depression era, like.
Not quite that old. You don't need to. This is already extreme enough. You don't have to exaggerate.
Dude,
they're literally like. Gary's like 80.
Is he really?
40.
Oh, yeah,
42 is when he was born, so 84.
Was it 42?
It was old enough. He was born.
I thought it was.
No, he is 42. Was when he was born.
Okay.
And he has his earliest memories are helping my great grandpa repair all the women's cars on the street because all their husbands were at war.
Okay.
He was like 3 handing him sockets. Right? Like that's literally nice. He talks to me about that. And but very particular in their clothing, both of them.
Oh yeah.
So, they're wearing like it's got to be like $2,500 of Filson wool exclusively, which is funny because I remember when Owen was like a baby, right?
Yeah.
And we handed him to Gary, and it was just immediately he's trying to get away because he can just scratched his like baby legs with
being held next to a Brillo pad.
Yeah, so I don't. It's funny, but they have very strict requirements for deer camp, which is the same camp they've gone to for at least 30 years, and it is literally like. It's in a logging road in the UP in the middle of nowhere. And it is one of those things where I think everybody in the world should have to experience something like this once to just be like, wow, that was terrible.
Yeah.
And you have to understand also that these guys are not like your classic, like Midwest, like deer camp in quotations guys where it's like, didn't even take my rifle out of the case. We got drunk the whole time.
Yeah.
Because fun is not allowed. Not at all. Very Christian, the whole in a way that's like made up fundamentalism, like not even like a Catholic whatever. Like this is
this is like Southern Baptist.
No,
like you will not dance, you will not drink, you will not do anything fun.
I think dancing would be okay. It would be tolerated, but with like a smirk, right?
I guess so, because I remember seeing him at my wedding and your wedding, and him like, look at these youngsters jumping around.
I think that both of them were, the point of it was both of them had responsibility early, and they never understood how to have fun. So their idea of fun is basically being the boss of younger people in the woods away from work without their wives near them. It's like literally what it is. So, they have 2 20-foot by 15-foot canvas wall tents that they force us to set up in the woods. And they somehow found in the entire woods, I still don't understand this, the one spot in like a 5-mile radius with zero service at all. If you go anywhere away, you get sunk.
Yeah, you go 200 feet away to like literally the next campsite.
Yeah, and you can get, I don't even think these are campsites. These are just clearings in a logging area, right? Like, they're campsites because people are camping there, but this isn't like this is in the, it's Hiawatha, right?
Hiawatha National Forest.
Yeah.
Baraga State Forest.
It's one of the saddest places I've ever been to. It's just, it's insane. But so you go to this campsite and they make you leave but they make you, was it midnight when they wanted?
10 o'clock.
10 p.m.
Friday night.
So, okay.
After work.
Let me pull up when opening day would be this upcoming year so that we can, because I remember I rode with them like once and never again. It was literal hell. Hold on. So,
it's terrible because you have to drive this old 90s beat up Tahoe.
So opening day, this is a good year, is Sunday. Okay.
Oh.
So the 15th is a Sunday.
Right.
2026. How would that go? And remember, these are people who have my grandpa's friend is owner, operator of a very successful local lumber supply company. So like busy people, not like, this is not like a thing that like these aren't like retired bums. These are guys who are like enterprising, right?
Right.
So, and keep in mind, we're younger guys who have to work.
Yeah.
So
we don't have the unlimited resources as people at the end of their life that have been working since they were 8.
So describe to them on the Sunday is the 15th.
Okay. So Sunday being opening day, it would also vary because Gary was a bird hunter. So sometimes they would leave even earlier
In the week,
before opening day to go do some non-existent partridge hunting in the UP, where I've only ever seen like shot one actual partridge. But
well, no, Gary shot it.
It was on the ground, and he was like, "Look at that, shoot it."
Well, when I went with him, he shot it.
Did he shoot one? So there's two.
There's two at least. There's three because one time over a decade ago, I went up there with him, and there was a partridge walking in front of us, and all of us that were there shot at it at once, and all of us missed it somehow. I mean, we might have just pulverized it into like nothing, but
the most elusive birds possible.
Anyway, keep going.
So opening day Sunday, what would happen is during work, Gary would come to you and be like, "Hey, we're leaving for the UP Friday night, 10 o'clock." You would go drive out, 40 minutes away from where you live to meet up, carpool with everybody.
Hold on.
Hop in the...
Wait. We didn't even talk about loading the trailer because they bring so much shit that they have there could be like an 18-foot enclosed trailer.
Yes.
That is packed all the way to the top with camping stuff that they use 10% of. But we are forced, as the younger guys, to load this thing. So they have a Saturday that they pick arbitrarily that is like somehow always the busiest day on everyone's schedule.
Yes, the most inconvenient.
It's insane. So they have you meet them there at like 8 a.m. to load this trailer. It's always raining. It's always terrible.
And this isn't something that can happen a Friday after work. This has to be like a Saturday. Like you said, that's the busiest. That you have to go all the way out of your way to load it up. And all the things we're loading are handmade plywood camping supplies that weigh 100 pounds.
Well,
I mean, there's probably 2,000 pounds worth of gear, 5,000 pounds worth of gear.
I mean, they literally have let me turn this up a little bit. They literally have they take it so seriously that at some point in the past they built from, I think they were Popular Mechanics designed bunk beds that have those really shitty carriage bolt toggle lock or carriage bolt square locking in the hole, but they're way too small a diameter, for being honest.
They don't cinch down. They're not tight.
Though that is also another thing too, because it's every time you go up there, you think you're going to die a new way. But we'll get to the ways you could die.
Yeah, we'll get to that once we get up to the UP.
You have to load this, and in Gary's friend's barn, I don't really want to say his name.
Yeah.
He has it got better recently, but for the longest time, it was basically a giant barn filled to the brim, like a hoarder style, with 100-year-old random farming shit.
Yep.
With a mezzanine with the slipperiest stairs ever going up into the rafters that are just perfectly at the right height to hit your head every time, and you have to be bent over the entire time up there to pull anything out. So I mean, I'm talking
there's
about
there's to the peak of the truss, so there's only 5 feet for you to stand up
with in between the trusses.
In
That's
between
what I'm
the
saying.
trusses, yeah.
The trusses are the trusses
it's
are
4 feet or
yes. So you have to be not only squatting down but also crouching to get through these things. And I mean, he has so much shit up there, and he stacks it his own way. So you have to pull half the stuff down, pull the things out, put them in the trailer.
Get yelled at for putting them in the trailer incorrectly.
Exactly, and they're very opinionated, obviously. So you've got getting yelled at by old people, and the other guy's voice is quite high pitched, and he's screeching. Literally, that's what he sounds like. So you're getting yelled at by him. He looks like a garden gnome, and Gary is just standing there, and everyone. He doesn't really chime in very often, but when he does, you have to redo the whole trailer. It's just it's brutal, man. And you love them because they're basically communal grandparents, but it's damn, dude, this just go inside and let us handle it. Yeah.
Let me put the shit in the trailer.
So you finally load that up. You lose half a Saturday.
Yep.
You load it up, sits in their yard for a week or multiple weeks because it has to be that day.
Yep.
Arbitrary. You finally get to a long week of working. Usually you're rushing, trying to get stuff done because
there's projects going on, and there's always a project going on that needs to be done.
For context, we work at a place, industrial manufacturing, basically consumer products. Levi's doing a majority of the maintenance on the machines, so it's you have to have the equipment that has to run 100,000 units a day ready to not have maintenance for a week because he's going to be gone. Right, as well as build everything upcoming projects.
Right.
So I mean, it's inconvenient as hell.
Yep.
So you get done with a week of cramming to finally leave, right?
Right.
And then the night of rolls around, and so you leave work, drive home.
Make sure you have to pack all your shit,
Yep.
get it ready, and then drive down, and you're leaving at 10 o'clock. Now,
10 p.m.
10 p.m. So keep in mind, we're meeting at the guy's house that we loaded the trailer with. So he's naturally there because he lives there. Everybody that's traveling with them is there. But another one of the old guys always shows up late. Consistently for 5 years. I traveled with these guys for 5 years, always late. But anyway, so you get in there, everyone's towing a trailer, and the vehicle we're using to tow this trailer is like
Also, they bring so much shit that they have 2 enclosed trailers.
Yeah.
So you have one enclosed trailer with all of your camping stuff, which is all these tents and bunks and a porta potty style like death pit poop thing. All of these lanterns. You've got it's a galvanized steel garbage can filled with rope that I've never seen them use.
Random gardening
literally
tools.
Ever, right?
Yeah.
And they bring rakes up there. It's winter.
Keep in mind, this is for a hunting trip, not even leaving the state, for less than 6 people.
Yeah, it's insane. And I have a lot of opinions about their tents because no matter how many people go, they force us to set 2 tents up. So we're like segregated with the peasants. It's absurd. But
yes.
So you finally get this thing loaded up. You've got 2 trailers. You've got one, which is filled with the camping stuff for everybody out of the barn. You've got, we'll call him BB.
Yes, there you go.
So out of BB's barn, and he always has like some sort of either Jeep that he's towing it with.
Right.
He has a LS swapped Jeep that he tows with, or I don't even, like an Escalade or something.
Yeah.
He's a fancy lad. He's a dandy, if you will. And my grandpa has a blown the fuck out 90s diesel Tahoe that has literally never not been broken.
Never.
Ever. It is insane. I'm talking like, he has had that car. It's his favorite thing. You couldn't torture that it's broken down once out of him. You could put him in like Guantanamo Bay and have him tortured for a decade, and he would still insist it's the greatest thing ever.
Yep.
And I mean, he's towing the heavier trailer with a 2-door 90s Tahoe with a 6.5 diesel in it. It's on its 3rd motor, on its 2nd transmission. I mean, it's just, I don't know how it makes it out of, I mean, even like the area code we're in, the thing is like so busted.
And there were times where it did not leave the area code.
That is true.
That could be saved for another time.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're towing this thing up with this blown out 90s Tahoe that breaks down literally all the time. And so since you're the youngin', you get to sit in the back of a bench seat that's loaded with all these other guys' gear. So you get like a 1 square foot of space to sit for 9 hours.
Yeah, because they only want to hunt a place that is, I mean, it ends up being about 11 hours of travel with all the stopping and repairing you have to do within the same state we live in. And as you move north, there are less deer. So this is just like comical. This is like basically the most inconvenient, stupid thing possible. I did want to add in, like Levi is saying, not only do they bring so much shit, they fill 2 enclosed trailers, it is also spilling over into their vehicles as well. So, I mean, you've got, I mean, this is like, when I moved, I didn't have that much shit.
Exactly.
It's insane.
I've gone hunting out west. You've gone hunting out west for multiple days at a time, and I still haven't brought that much stuff.
It's insane. It's absurd. So you're driving with them. You're in the back seat.
So you're traveling up there. You're stuck in your confined cell in the back seat of like a shitty 90s interior, and the entire time, the only people you're traveling with in the vehicle, like keep in mind, they don't know what fun is. They have no idea. So the thing they listen to on the way up there are audiobooks of Louis L'Amour. Now, if you don't know who that is, go ahead and do a quick Google search. But it's like the worst cowboy stories, survivalists ever.
What media are they like?
What would be the other media?
No. What what format
Aha, yes.
is the media, because this is part of it also, because these guys are ancient.
Right, and keep in mind it's a 90s Tahoe, right? No updating at all. So this is literally CDs from the local library of
Or
Louis
cassettes.
L'Amour. Or cassettes.
And it is always a library. They never buy them.
Correct.
So they go to the library and they get
every year.
Yes, every year, and they have either Louis L'Amour books or the Iwo Jima. Like it's like
Yeah.
the same. I don't even know who it is. But there's like a soldier that wrote some story about Iwo Jima, and I've seen it on like 5 or 6 different trips, and it's I remember driving out to give some proof of what Levi's saying. We drove out to Montana one year, and it was a 19-hour drive, so it was like a 21-hour audiobook, and it was the Iwo Jima book, and nobody was allowed a say. We had to listen to that, and we drove all the way out there, and I remember being like, fuck, like at least we're like, we're here,
right?
Whatever.
Right.
One of the worst hunting trips I've ever been on. Everything's always bad. It's none of the stuff's like ever fun.
None
hardly
of it
ever.
has ever worked.
And
out.
we go to drive back, and I remember being really excited. And I was like kind of counting down because I could see on the screen. It was like disc 6 of 6, and I was like watching the numbers count down. And as soon as it hit 0, I was like, all right, we're done, and we can watch or listen to something else. He grabs the first disc and puts it on again, and we just start from the beginning, and it's the same thing all the way. And he also had the seat so far back. I was sitting behind him. He had the seat as far back as possible, and I remember sitting there, and my knees were like getting crunched into the seat.
Yep.
By his seat. And I asked him if he could move it forward, and he was like, "Oh, no problem." And it was like a tenth of a second.
Right.
It was like
no matter what vehicle you're in, you're confined to 1 cubic.
It was that was insane. That was whatever. But again, keep going.
So you're listening to the most dry and monotone thing you've ever heard in your life. And even if you're like, you know what, maybe I'll be a good sport about it. I'll just sit here and I'll listen. And so it's just so unbearable. And so you're driving, and keep in mind, you're the youngest one in the vehicle. So you obviously are expected to take a turn driving, but you get the worst shift, right? So even though you already worked a 10-hour day and it's 10 o'clock and you're driving, you're expected to take the third and final leg of the drive, right? And so you're driving, you're doing this, like I said, blown out 90s Tahoe. It's got a really short wheelbase. And this enclosed trailer we got, like 18 to 20 feet long. So obviously, when you're driving up in northern Michigan, there's going to be snow, especially during opening day, right? And this thing gets pulled around like none other. So there's slop on the road. You're taking the third leg of the drive as like a 16, 18-year-old.
Well, that was the other thing, too. I mean, they literally, there's no, like, question of, like, hey, are you
okay to do this?
Yeah. Like,
hey, can you take a turn?
Have you ever driven a trailer before?
No, ever. Not before that point.
And they just go, oh, you're here, you better do it. This is the agreement here. So you're forced to drive. And I went downstairs to, re-up the Modelo supply.
The delis.
But, I mean, it's literally like that car has a very short wheelbase. That vehicle, it's about a little bit longer than a Wrangler.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like not that much, maybe 25% longer.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
In the trailer, it's one of those tandem axle, like 18 or 20 footers. So, I mean, it is like the worst combination for bad roads.
Ever.
Jackknife going forward on like a mildly bad day.
Oh, yes.
And if it could get any worse, they would go to that configuration.
Yep.
This is part of the fun for them. It's insane. It's like they want it to kill them.
Any type of suffering. I mean, I guess as long as they're not getting paid for it, because like when you're at work, right, at least you're getting paid to suffer. But on the free time, the suffering's free, and that's part of the excitement.
They relish
I guess.
it. Yeah. Well, but it is like when we're at work, because we both have worked with my grandpa before, and he will go out of his way to try to make it less bad on the clock.
Right.
And I think that's strictly just to get more work done.
Yes.
But dude, in free time, I mean, if it was up to him, you would punch out of work and then immediately put away all the power tools and get out the hand shears and just keep going.
You would get a Leatherman and baling wire and be like, that's all you got. Make it work.
So I don't know where you left off. Like I said,
we were just getting up. So when you're in northern Michigan, the road conditions are horrible. The wheelbase of the vehicle is tiny. Plus, here's a fun fact. They would air up the tires to get better fuel economy. Okay,
so it's just like
you're running
yeah.
BFGs at 55 pounds with a short wheelbase vehicle towing a 20-foot trailer with like 5,000 pounds in it. So guess what happens when you hit slush and ice?
Yeah.
You just keep going, right? And this trailer's pushing you everywhere.
Well, and they're stock brakes.
Yes, exactly.
So,
and I mean, it's a 90s vehicle, right? So you have like 30% slop in the steering.
Well, until, and not only that, but like until like with the past 2 years, he did not have a lift kit on it, but he had 35s on it.
Right.
So it was any bump you hit, you're grinding. I mean, it's just, the thing was a disaster and broken down constantly. But did you about being forced, like Japanese World War II torture of staying awake? You're not allowed to sleep when it's.
I have not said that, no.
So that's a very important thing to add to this, because when you are in the car with them, you are not allowed to sleep if you are not driving. So they will be driving, they'll take the first shift, right?
And you will go to sleep. You're like, all right, I'm not driving. I'm going to take a minute. They're driving. I'm going to try and get some shut eye.
Yeah, and they will wait until it's like they're looking at you. And then when you start to close your eyes, they'll just be like, oh, can you hand me that cracker? And
yes.
Okay, you wake up. And then you'll start to fall asleep, and they'll be like, oh, Grant, what's the name of that boy you went to school with? And
yes.
It's like, why do you care? It's midnight. Why are you asking me this?
Right, they got 3 hours left in the leg for them to complete, and they're like, so let me tell you about the Sini Strait and back in the fires in the 1600s. And it's just like, oh, okay. And then as soon as it's your turn to go pick up the driving, you're like, all right, I'm going to wake up. Here we go. I'm like, so, hey, gee, what's this like? And they'll be like, and you'll immediately fall asleep and leave you alone. Well, so now you like been deprived of your sleep time.
Don't know where you're going, because they don't believe in within the past 5 years, my grandpa has upgraded to using a first generation Garmin that you need a SD card with the maps on.
Yes, a window sticker GPS.
Like, it's insane. So in the campsite does not have an address, so you can't even like look on your phone, right? So when you're driving, I mean, normally what ends up happening is you look up the nearest place you can think of, like just Baraga or Lons or whatever, and you just pull into some place and make them finish it, right?
Well, you have to remember, because the ultimate destination is what's the name of the restaurant?
Hilltop.
The Hilltop. That's the ultimate destination. This is where it's
lead. I'll let Levi finish, because I have only allowed this experience to happen to me, I think, twice.
Really?
Because I hate it. It's like, this is like, I have visceral reactions to things, and my brother's a lot worse than me about it.
Yeah.
But it runs in the family. So if there's something I don't like, and I'm sure you guys will hear all about things I don't like, but this is, so it's I mean, it's 9 hours. So the sun is rising.
Yep.
You're the only one awake.
Yep.
Old people are snoring. You're still listening to Louis L'Amour because you don't know how to function the antiquated technology.
Yep.
At this point, it's the only thing keeping you awake.
Yep.
Right, and you crest the hill.
Yeah, you crest the hill,
and the sun is gleaming into your eyes. You see the beautiful, whatever that bay is on that turn, you know, and it's just filled with trash, right? Yep. And you make it into Baraga. Then where do you go? Where's the meeting point for everyone else that's smarter than you that didn't ride with them, that showed up the night before
and slept in the motel literally right across? So after you complete this 9-hour trek of not sleeping, and you crest the hill, and you finally get a reprieve, there is a restaurant in the UP called the Hilltop, and this place is like making their pilgrimage to Mecca.
They talk about it all year. Like, they will legitimately, like, not exaggerating, randomly just be like, if only we could go to the Hilltop, because they meet randomly for lunch, which, I mean, good, whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is Gordon Food Service level.
Oh, the lowest tier. I mean, this is the UP type of food. I mean, the UP is like 5 people that live up there in total, right? And so you're expected to all meet at the Hilltop, right? Butt crack of dawn, because you left at 10 o'clock, you've been driving all the way through the night, and you get in there, and you sit down, and naturally there's a waitress that comes up, and she's like, hey guys, what do you want to drink? Can I get anything started for you? And this is really where the essence of the name comes in.
Yeah, all of this is, so the 34 minutes of us rambling has led up to this. This is a seared into our minds. We were impressionable youth. I mean, what's 16, 17?
Oh yeah. Maybe
right?
Even younger.
So like, you're raised by your parents to have like as good of manners in public as possible, and like
be respectful, be considerate and whatnot.
And you're sleep deprived, you feel horrible, whatever. You get to this restaurant and everybody's ordering stuff, and what do they say?
Well, I like how because the old timers before the even waitress opens her mouth, before they even like get within
Yeah.
5 feet of the
They're
table,
approaching. It's like a video game, like AOE attack. That's
yes,
literally
like
what
they
it
can
is.
hear the footsteps, they sense that they're in their area, and before their waitress can even say, "Hey, can I get you guys something to drink?" They hear the footsteps and they go like, "Large glass, white milk.
Large glass, white milk.
Give it to me now."
And there was one time, the time that is burnt into my memory, where I was so embarrassed that I can't even like really communicate this. The waitress came up to ask everybody what they wanted, and my grandpa wouldn't look at her and just kept saying, "Large glass, white milk, large glass, white milk," in increasing volume. And she was like, "Okay, okay, I got it," and he just kept going until she was like, "Okay, sir, I got it," and he turned and looked at her one last time, "Large glass, white milk," and then did not respond to any other prompts. And I was so, I mean, dude, I was like, I was so young, I couldn't like, I wasn't like, "Dude, shut up," because that's kind of what I do
You're like,
now.
"Grandpa, what are you doing?"
That's, yeah, it was insane. And I remember like after she left, right? So she, whatever, and we all order like, "Can I get a pop or a milk or this or water or whatever?" After she left, everybody just carried on like it was normal, and I was sitting there, and
What the fuck just happened?
yeah,
What
and
are
it was,
you doing,
dude,
dude?
like, I mean, there were people at other tables like looking at us, and this was just normal, large
Yep.
glass white milk, and then I mean, just so the point of all of that to get to this point was that a common saying around here is large glass white milk,
Right.
large glass white milk.
It's what you need, and you need it now, just like this. You need this. Your body
Exactly.
craves this. This is what you need.
Yeah, we put nicotine in the recording.
Exactly.
So,
well, an important thing is that this isn't large glass 2% milk,
oh,
right? This is not
no.
large glass skim milk, all right? Those would be called chalk water. That is heresy, right? This is large glass whole white milk, right? This has got to be as creamy and as fatty as possible. And one of the times that this happened, where before the waitress even asked, he asked for large glass white milk, and she's like, "Okay, all we have is 2%. You should have seen it. He turned white like a ghost. His spirit left his body, and this was unacceptable behavior. This couldn't happen." So anyway, he concedes. He's like, "All right, bring it to the table." Anyway, it gets to the table, and I'm looking around. I think Grant saw it first. And he looks at me, and I'm like, "What are you looking at, dude?" And this guy goes in his skim milk, and he's dumping half and half.
It wasn't even skim milk. It's 2%.
Yeah, he was dumping it half and half,
Yeah,
like
coffee creamer into his milk.
like 3 of them.
Yeah, it was. I have the picture. I took a picture of him doing it, right? And that was he poured far more because I remember arguing after that because I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was insane, and he was pouring. He poured like 3 or 4 of them in there, like, and they were cream.
More than you would put in a normal coffee.
Yes, but the thing is like apparently normal whole milk is 6%, and then Gary and Mr. B were sitting there and they were arguing with me and Levi, telling us that they need animal fat. Like it was like this. I don't even know like what. And Ben is eating butter.
Yes.
Like, literally just like
a like diabetic.
Is he diabetic?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he has withered away to almost nothing because I think they like fell for. They eat what's the horse shit?
Oh, ivermectin.
Yeah, ivermectin. They're just eating ivermectin. They're
ivermectin, whole milk, and butter. That's
yes,
their diet.
But they're literally just eating butter. It's one of the most insane things I've ever seen.
Cutting it off like slices of cheese.
Well, do you remember? Whatever. So yes, the Hilltop's terrible. They bring your food out. It's like maybe a 5 out of 10.
If that.
And they're like scrumptious, delicious.
They do have the almighty, wonderful cinnamon rolls.
No, they don't call them cinnamon rolls.
What
they call them
sweet buns.
Sweet buns. That's what they call. You're right.
Yes.
The world famous Hilltop sweet buns that are so bad that I remember being 4 or 5 years old, and my grandpa brought them home to entice me to go to deer camp with them. And I mean, they are big. I will say they're probably like 6 by 4.
Even though every year they complain about the size and the price, like literally every year. I mean, they never change.
Yeah, they can never finish them because it's got sugar in it. So it's like, oh, I'm dying.
I enjoy this. I can't eat all of that.
Yeah, and they're like $5 a piece or something.
Yeah,
it's insane. I mean, it's crazy. And they're with a cinnamon roll. You need like the correct ratio of dough to like filling and topping.
Yep.
And
this is just bread with icing.
Yeah,
bro.
it's bad. It's just bad. It's if you like, I'm not exaggerating. If you took puff pastry like a crescent roll and rolled it up with like cinnamon and butter and sugar, it would be better.
Yeah.
Like this is just bad. But they are big, and I remember even as a 4 or 5 year old who's like, you could probably get me in a van with some candy, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It was not good enough to convince me to go with him the following year. So, yeah, but that was. But after that, you go to deer camp, right?
Well, you headed into the state forest, right? And like you said, there's no address to this place. These are just cleared sites from logging previously. And so there's no road signs. There's just dirt 2 tracks going around, and they expect you to just know where to go.
Yes, and these roads are they have been up there for so long, and these are, I think they're technically like Forest Service like service roads. They're 2 tracks. They're not real roads, but they have like names, and some of them have like it's like MUS 181, but then there's like the local name for it, and that a lot of the people who live up there will cut from Lons to Baraga on snowmobiles through them.
Sure.
Right. So they have like local names and stuff. But these guys have been going up there long enough that they remember the old names that are no longer on maps. And
no longer on the signs either. These are just the names these that they knew them by.
Archaic names. Like if you were like in like Italy and we're calling the whatever road the carts in Rome went through.
Yeah, right.
Like
exactly.
When Caesar was emperor, and you're like, oh, that's like fucking Latin Street, right? And you're like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you should know.
And they would argue about it because we would get lost back there, and the GPS that you're looking at, you're saying, okay, we're trying to meet up. And you're like, okay, this road intersects this road. We're going to meet there. And then they would bitch at you for getting themselves lost because you called it by the wrong name, even though you're showing them a picture of the name of the road. It's dude,
yes,
come on.
That was literally it. It was, you'd go through and you'd spend hours in the cold, not see shit. Right,
because it's the UP, and there's no deer in the UP.
They'd ask you to meet them at like Minji Creek and Cold Plains Road, and you'd be looking at the map, and you're like, there is not a fucking Cold Plains Road. That is not a thing, right? And they'd be like, oh no, actually it is. So you go, okay, I'm gonna meet you at this intersection, and they're like, that's way out of the way, fine. So you stop at the intersection, and you see them flying down the road. And then they back up to you, and they're like, why are you here? And you go, well, this is where I told you I would be. And they go, no. And they argue with you about the location of these roads. So I pull out my phone, and I show them exactly what I said. And they argue with me. They just tell me I'm straight up wrong until we get back to the, camp. We pull out an atlas because, this is you can't let it go, right? I mean, this
absolutely
is
not.
And Levi, or at least me, I'm annoyed because if I'm going to be in intolerable whatever, I should be at least drunk. But you're not allowed to drink because I don't even know why.
Sinful.
I guess whatever. It's a waste of time. You could be being uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a waste of time where you could be sitting in your chair staring at the fire. What are you supposed to do?
Well, quota 20 threads were invented by the Germans. That's literally. So we get back to the thing, and you look at the atlas, and they look at the thing, they look at the map, and you're pointing it out, and you go, this is where we were. You're referencing your phone, and then it's, guess what, you're right. And they just stare at it, and they go, well, it didn't used to be like that, and that's just the end of the discussion. And you're like, well, dude, I
remember one time BB was having an existential crisis.
Just call him Ben. I already said it.
Okay, Ben was having an existential crisis with getting the name of the road wrong. And I mean, you just see him
that was after me and him were arguing you were in the car with him.
Yes, I know, I saw it.
It was me and Brian, and I was arguing with him because it was I was already mad. I was like, dude.
Dude, fucking look, this is the name.
And I told him, and I don't know, it was. Yes, they spaz about that stuff, and I mean, I assume it certainly will happen to me. I'm sure it's going to be when I'm
going to be that. That's what I aspire to.
No, it won't be about that. I'm going to be like, in Dark Souls 3, it's called the Executioner's Greatsword, and they're going to be like, shut up, Grandpa. It's fucking whatever, and I'm going to be like, that's what's going to happen. But
so after to get back to the main story, after you leave the hilltop, you head into the unknown wilds of the Baraga State Forest, and you get the absolute joy of setting up camp. And keep in mind, we have 2 wall tents. We have an outdoor porta-john. We have an entire kitchen set made of plywood. We have 8 bunk beds that we're setting up for only 6 people.
The kitchen set, though, because remember, these are very traditional, old, they're almost like neo boomers because they're
Yes,
not real boomers.
exactly.
Like they're,
Yeah.
but they're like they don't know how to cook anything. They don't know. So
Their idea of cooking is warming something up. I
dude,
mean, like
their
that's the
kitchen set,
extent.
that kitchen set is a plywood, like it's like a chest that you so I was in Boy Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout, and I don't want to brag, and I don't want to make Levi jealous,
Yeah,
but I'm
that's
an
a
Eagle
brag.
Scout, and we had these chests for like our mess kits and stuff, where it was completely, it was 3 plywood, like like Russian nesting dolls stacking chests that you opened. Everything had its place. There was like flat top griddles, everything. We had 65 people on our troop. You could feed all of them plus their parents out of that
Really?
kit.
Okay.
These guys have the same thing, but it is 3 times the size of it. And,
with like but 3 times less
you
stuff.
open the fucking thing up, and I remember one of the last times we were there, I opened it up and I'm looking through it, and they have like 500 butter knives.
Yes.
And it's like, what the? And these are not like plastic butter knives. I'm talking like from a like silverware set,
like from like a school cafeteria. Like,
but they're metal.
Yes.
Like, but it's why do we have 500? I've never used a butter knife up there.
Yes. So the thing's like 3 times the size. There's not as much stuff in it, and there's just like paper, plates, and bowls, salt and pepper, and like forks with like.
But the pepper's always
pops.
empty.
Yeah,
they have salt.
Yeah,
they're afraid of seasonings. Also, that's a thing we should add. Is there anything spicier than black pepper? Is like literally Satan to them. It's insane.
That's like the devil's butthole.
No, they had celery salt that one time, which was confusing. I remember seeing that, and I was like, "Where did you even like? What? Why would you ever have this?"
Yes.
Right.
What are you doing?
So
this is not.
But you unload whatever. So, where were you, Levi? Sorry, that was.
Okay, so we get out there and you finally pull into this place, right? It's just a cleared little patch in this logging area, and you're finally like, all right, let's get ready, let's get it set up. And you're sitting there deprived of sleep. You had a mediocre breakfast. You just got embarrassed by an old man shouting large glass white milk for like 15 minutes. And you're like, all right, I'm just going to get to it. Let's bang it out so I can, at least leave, maybe to go walk, maybe to go scout, maybe go to sleep, whatever. So you start unloading stuff. But naturally, you're unloading things in the wrong order. So you're told to put things back into the trailer and then pull out the proper things. You're like, all right, you know what, fine. I was taught to be respectful and respect your elders and whatnot. And so you start doing what they say. And this is a relatively simple, like the frame for the tent. I mean, it's like tent poles and they're labeled, and you just put it together. And you're like, okay, I'm just gonna get ahead of it. I'll start putting stuff together. Naturally, the wrong move.
No!
Absolutely not. You do not do it in that order. This is how we do it. By the way, the order changes every year.
Yes, they have them labeled, so it'll be like, you can't tell the I or the L or the T apart. And they used letters for some reason.
Yes.
So it'll be like, grab an L pole, and you're like, well, I don't like know what even, like, this is 20-year-old Sharpie written by like a guy with Parkinson's. I literally don't know what this is.
And so, and back up just a little bit. Actually, not really, but like while we're setting up, so there's 2 wall tents, and at this little clearing campsite thing, there's 2 trees that can't just use the tents as a tent. You have to drape a 40 by 60 tarp over top of it.
Okay, but what is that attached to? Because that's
what I'm getting to. The 2 pillars of faith
so
that hold up this entire
the entirety
campsite.
of the time they have ever been there. I mean, in the summer, I've been there in the summer, and it's pretty, right? It's a like well-worn clearing in the forest next to a little like northern Michigan creek that has beavers in it and muskrats and little fishies and stuff. Like it's like a nice area when the weather isn't trying to fuck you in the ass.
Yeah.
And they have been there for so long that the foundation of the campsite, the reason why they picked it, this giant mighty, I think it's a walnut tree.
Yeah.
Right? It was a mighty walnut tree that that thing had to have been 4 foot in diameter. Like diameter, not around. This thing was, it was truly bordering
hundreds of years old.
Yes, it has seen the Civil War at a minimum. It has seen, it might have been older than America. It like genuinely was that. It was like a redwood. It was crazy. They were there for so long that it went from a majestic living tree to a hollow husk of dying. Like, it was dead. It's been
Yes.
dead.
Yeah,
It's
and
it,
every year you'd look at it because there's like the little coon holes that they dig it out, and every year it would get more hollow and more hollow, and they're like, "Yeah, it'll probably be all right."
but they don't attach it like you would expect. So you climb up on a ladder and you pull a rope across and you pull it taut, and that's good, right? And you if you even if it's like hollow, as long as there's like maybe an inch of wood, it's fine.
Sure.
Okay, but they have a come along, right? And they're strapping that to, and I mean the other tree is luckily a living pine tree. It's a big pine tree,
Yeah, yeah.
right? But they're come alonging these trees together, and I mean every year it gets scarier and scarier because the thing is hollow. Like the thing is so hollow that I could climb into it and just like hang out.
Yes.
And
I mean, it was rotted so much it looks like somebody dumped like 2 yards of dirt out at the base of the tree from
yeah,
just shit falling out
it's
of it.
it's wild. So that's how their security blanket for getting multiple feet of snow at a time is a pre-tensioned come along, pulling the rotting hollow tree out directly towards where they sleep.
Yes, putting the tents right in line. So after they get
But
the
how old do you think that tarp is they use? Also,
that tarp's got to be like 30 years old.
yeah, it's like whatever the first Harbor Freight in America. That's where they got that
Yes,
fucking
exactly.
tarp, because not only is it old, it's old and shitty.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, the thing feels like a newspaper.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And I remember they weren't at camp yet, or they left or something, and Levi and I and a couple other guys were like, well, let's get ahead of this and get it hung up and get to the point where they can't make us redo anything.
Exactly.
Right. And we got it up there and it ripped because it's like 1,000 fucking years old.
Yep.
And
I mean, it's white. It's a blue tarp, but it's white.
Yeah, and they bitched at us that it ripped.
And I was like, dude,
how the fuck would it not rip?
Yeah.
Dude? Like, it's like everything has a lifespan, but whatever. So keep going.
So we get it set up. Tarps over top, already strung out on the death tree, pulling right towards us, which I guess would be a fitting end to like a mighty suffering.
Fucking kill me, dude.
Okay, so we get those set up, and then it's time to put the bunk beds together. And like I said, these are like homemade plywood carriage bolt bunk beds, where the base plate where the mattress sits on is like what? Not even I feel like it's a 1/4 inch thick, like plywood.
The plywood.
Yes.
Yeah, that was at one point. I think it was 1/2 inch plywood. But people have slept on them for so long, and they've been handled roughly for so long, that specifically where it like the little overhang on the plywood where there's a little shelf that bears all the weight,
Yep.
has worn down to where it's only about 3/8 of an inch thick, and this is old plywood,
Old.
like ancient.
Old.
Like, you get a splinter if you look at it.
Yes,
type of holes,
exactly.
Right, and neither of us are particularly small guys, and none of the people we went hunting with.
I would have to say that nobody that was up there was under 200 pounds.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
and the top bunk's 5 feet off the ground. Right.
Yes,
and you're sleeping.
But like the entire frame of the bunk beds themselves, none of it's solid wood. It's all maybe 1/2 inch thick plywood that's like laminated and screwed together
and held together by roll pins.
Yes,
These side rails are held together by roll pins.
Yeah, so they pound roll pins in, and that's basically
into plywood.
That's bearing the weight. So you've got this you've got it's a 90-degree angle and 2 pieces of 1/2 inch plywood that they glued in another piece of 1/2 inch plywood with a roll pin in it, and that's with like another strip of 1/2 inch plywood down the thing. And
truly a marvel.
Yes, and they have held up, and the supports that you lay on top of, like the boards that you lay on top of, are I think they're 3x3.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the bed's only 6 feet long, and it's like nobody is under 6 feet.
Yes, you cannot sleep comfortably on that. It's just impossible.
And we, the younger guy has to sleep on top.
Naturally.
And the thing is, there's no steps either. It's so fucking
Yes, you
high.
have to jump up there. So the inertia of you coming back down, you're like, well, I guess I'm going to kill the guy underneath.
Yeah,
me.
that was why I used to bitch about having to sleep on the bottom.
Yep.
Right? Until I slept on the bottom one year, and I had somebody who was about my size above me, and I was staring at the plywood every time they moved, and I could see it, and I was like, dude, no. And so I always made my friend Brian sleep underneath me, so if I fell, I would kill him. That was the joke, right?
It was just.
Yes, but Yes, so you set that up, you get all of that done.
And naturally, you have to set them all up, right? So this entire time,
Yeah, everyone leaves right about then.
Everyone leaves. So all the old timers,
I gotta get
Gary,
wood.
Ben,
propane.
Yes, they have to go get water, or they have to go get propane.
Where do they get water from?
Oh, okay. So this was actually quite the tragedy. Back in a couple of years ago, they were up there. There's a gas station.
023.
Yes, back in 023. There's a gas station that they would go in there and harass the
Holiday and a Chris.
Yes,
those are the
I think was it the Chris or the Holiday?
The Chris burnt down.
Yes, so there was a Chris that they would go and harass the person working the counter. Making like what, $12 an hour or whatever, and they're like, "Hey!" And you get these old timers wearing like $2,000 worth of wool. Hey, can we take some water?
Remember, this is like 9:30 in the morning.
Yes,
like this is like all of this has happened as the sun is rising, and you have not slept for 2 days.
Yep. And so you go out there, and they have like probably an accumulative 200 gallons of containers. Maybe not that much.
Maybe not that much. 100 at least.
Yes. So you have multiple containers, and so you ask the people behind the counters, like, "Hey, can we get some water?" And they're looking at you like, "Yeah, what? Okay, whatever." Well, one of them burned down. But a funny story about the gathering water one is that up in Baraga, in Michigan, there's a state prison. Okay. And we were there getting water one time, sleep deprived as all get out. And we're filling up the water. The old timers are fucking off doing whatever they want. And all of a sudden, you see this guy pull up in like a mechanic's outfit, and you're like, "Oh, that's kind of weird." And he sees another guy walking into the store, and he goes like, "Hey, Bob!" It's like, "Oh shit, hey, what's going on?" He's like, "Did you hear another one died?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, another one died at the prison." Like, "All right, I'll see you later." And it was a prison card for the Baraga State Prison. And you're like, "Okay, I'm just going to finish
standard gas station talk."
Exactly.
Right? But where they have you fill the water at these gas stations is out of the mop drain.
Yeah,
like where you dump
there's a
your
silcock
mop.
in between the wood they have piled out there.
Yeah, so where I went when they made me go, it was in the back of the building. You go in the building through the employee-only door.
Interesting. And I only filled it on the exterior.
There's a sink where they dump the mops.
Okay.
And the water for the mop bucket, that's the water we got. So that was the experience I had. And then, of course, you take it back to camp and whatever, and you sit there for the whole day doing nothing. You listen to them complain about how you didn't do everything right. They have like a cooler that is gigantic, that is also somehow the heaviest thing you've ever held, that's only filled with milk, and they drink 5 gallons the whole time there. It's insane. Then you sit in the woods. They make you wake up at 4:30 in the morning by screaming, "Daylight in the swamp, campers!" And you see nothing the whole time you're there.
Yep.
And then all of the old people tell you about these giant deer they saw.
And I mean, they got pictures to prove it.
Yeah,
but this was like 60 years ago.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, that was that hour was the basis of it. So I expect large glass white milk to permeate
be hoisted and be shown to all of America.
I wrote things down. I was thinking about it the whole time we were this week, right? So there was a couple of things I felt was important. And we don't necessarily have to end it anytime soon.
I was about to say.
We have time, but...
Because I forgot my drug of choice at home, so...
I have 3 pages of things to talk about.
Interesting.
So, the first of which, and this is, completely like... A lot of these are fragments of ideas.
Naturally.
Right? Okay. But I was thinking back, and I was actually thinking about, like, when we... called the best podcast of all time with one Pakistani listener and my wife, Large Glass White Milk. The thing I was thinking about was the person who was there with me when I heard that was our friend Matt, who sadly died. But it made me think about his a couple of things about him, and I don't want to go into everything quite yet. But one of his friends named Lucas. They all took DMT when they were like way too young, like way.
Well, I mean, what do you think is appropriate age for DMT? Like what? 18? 20? What do you think is appropriate?
I don't know, not 15.
Yeah, there you go.
So that was and I remember them telling me about it. And our friend Matt, he smoked DMT, and I remember him telling me about it, and he made it sound pretty fucking cool, right?
Right.
And I was like, dude, I might do DMT. Sounds cool. And then I talked to the other guy, and I was like, I'm never doing DMT. And it was when Matt told me, he said that it was like this like I don't remember exactly how he described it, but I think he said it was like an orange rock or something.
Okay.
Okay, and
Interesting.
you smoke it, and he was telling me that like as you're lighting it and hitting it, it's like you instantly feel like you have to cough, but you have to just like keep sucking and sucking and sucking and hold it in for as long as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's talking about that to me, and he's like telling me whatever, and he says that he literally thought that he was gonna have like an asthma attack uh based off of like how hard like it was like in his lungs and like burning and hurting, but he just kept going and kept going and kept going. And then he said he looked up at his friend, and his entire vision just like went like film of sepia over it, like that, like like antique tone.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he closed his eyes, went into third person view, and watched his body fall back onto his bed.
Nice.
And then his like mental or like his like spiritual body flew through the sky into space, and there was a gigantic like predator, like like the movie Predator,
Yeah, yeah.
like head in space, and it was like, I've been waiting for you, I have many things to show you, and it like floated up to him, and it's like head tentacles plugged into him, and then it was like and like shooting all this information in his head, and he said it was like the Matrix, and there was like all this shit like going over his vision, and he said it felt like he was like chilling with this like information alien for like 5 years.
Naturally.
Right? And then he said that he was like, it was like, it's time to go, and he fell through space gently back into his body and opened his eyes, and like a minute had gone by.
Dude, that's
right?
crazy.
And he was like, it was one of the most intense things ever, and he was like, that was crazy, whatever. Then his friend, they were like, what did you see? The same thing happened, and he was like, I don't want to talk about it. Right? And he was like, oh, okay. And then all the other guys ended up hitting DNT so many times that they all gave themselves that like film vision, where
Wow.
like if it's like hallucinogen induced like film grain vision or whatever,
Okay, yeah.
to where like it looks like film grain.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
I have it just because I'm lucky, I guess.
Sure.
Right? I was born with that and tinnitus, so I just whatever.
Born with that and tinnitus.
Yes.
Perfect.
So they after like a while, I remember talking to them about it, and like everyone had these crazy stories. The other guy, like Xandros, he could never break through. He said he felt himself like leaving his
Hit
body,
the ceiling,
and then would go back down, right? And he tried like 6 times in one night.
Wow.
Right? And
in one night?
In one night. Like they were like 15. They shouldn't have been doing this shit, right? I don't even know how they got it, right? So eventually, it was like weeks later, I was talking to Lucas with Matt, and we were talking like, hey man, like like, what did you see? Because Matt's talking about all this like telling him like how like this is why Nero burnt Rome and all of this stuff, whatever. Yeah. And none of it was true, but it was still
funny,
cool.
I like
you're
it.
15, and you're like, maybe it is true,
right?
Secretly, right? And Lucas finally tells us what he saw, and he had an almost identical experience where he flies into the sky and whatever. Mm-hmm. But he sat in the void of space for like a long time. There was nothing there. Then from like the corner of his eye, he turned and he sees, and there's a green shape moving towards him.
Okay.
And it's apparently like essentially like a disembodied like witch face flying towards him, and it stops directly in front of him, and he's staring at it, and it goes, cut your penis off. And he goes, what? And then it's like, you need to cut your dick off. And he's, what are you talking about? And it goes, cut your penis off. And he flies back into his body. And that was the only thing he saw.
Fuck,
so dude. That was, it made me laugh really hard.
Wonderful. Damn, dude. My drug of choice nowadays is Zycan. I was thinking about it. I've been sick for the past week or so. And I've literally, like, any minor inconvenience I have breathing, I just spray that shit in my nose. And I'm like, dude,
that's like not even real.
Dude, I might be addicted to an OTC right now.
It's not an OTC, it's a homeopathic.
I'm going to be addicted to a homeopathic.
They have one. I remember my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, their kid was really sick, and they were telling us, everyone was sick at the same time, and they were like, you need to take this stuff. It's good, like, for the kid, and it's good. And what the fuck is this? And I'm reading it, and it had like a 25-letter long name, and I'm like, what is this? And I look up.
One of those like multiple consonant names. That's just like, this is like a
it's like oscocelineum or whatever, and I'm reading about it, and it's like duck liver extract, right? doesn't do any. It's fake. It's like a fake thing. And I remember being like, well, I'm just gonna give our kids like Tylenol and Motrin and water and popsicles, and they had a bad fever or whatever. And then I look at our Snapchat stories, and they're in the hospital for 2 days.
Yeah, right. Because they did that shit. Dude, but the nose spray you can get from Kroger, dude, I'm addicted to that stuff. That stuff's awesome.
Just don't get sick, dude.
I'll try, but I can't.
I also have written down here these fragments of things I've thought about, right? Mm-hmm. And it's, what if POC meant people of crab? What about that?
People of crab?
Yeah, like pinchy crabs. What would you think of that?
We do have that one crab guy that comes in that services
you do?
air compressors.
But like I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like
actual crustacean.
Well, there's like multiple ways of going about it. You could have like that could be like a racist insult to island people. You're just like people of crab, right? Or people who are like
all the islanders, those fucking POCs.
Or you could have the people who are like obsessed with aquariums, right? And you're just a fucking POC.
Nigger.
Yeah, and they're whatever. So I have that.
That's funny.
I was reading a 4chan thread, and there was this dude who was like, I tried to find the thread earlier today, and I can't find it anymore, where he was reviewing a penis pump and was
really
incredibly angry that it didn't I don't understand the point of it. To me, this sounds like torture. Apparently there's a thing called a bath mate.
Okay.
And I was doing research at like midnight when I couldn't sleep, and I was like, what is this thing? Because the guy's talking about it, and it's like a hydraulic, it's like it looks like a torture device.
Yeah.
With like a spring on it, and you fill it with water and pump a thing, and it sucks your dick longer. Okay. And
does that actually work?
According to this guy.
Because isn't there like the jelking thing you do, or stretching, or?
Well, that's jelking, right? And that is apparently the way that works is you squeeze blood into your dick, and the hope is that it basically by forcing blood in, because your dick is like a balloon kind of.
Sure.
Right. It's you're just slowly stretching.
Sounds like a good name for a song. My dick is a balloon.
My dick is a balloon. But this guy is bitching about this bathmate thing, and they're like $200.
Jeez.
Okay, they are U.S. made, so support bathmate. I guess guys, go out there and buy one. But it's like this so it's literally a tube with a spring-loaded bellows and a seal port that you put on. You fill it with warm water.
Okay.
Put it on.
Yeah.
All right. So you got your little dangler fish, dangling, and then there's an accessory pump that you pump, and it pumps because there's water in there. It's not like a vat. I don't know.
Okay.
And as the water cools, it also makes it
It seems very technical.
I don't know. So this guy is talking about, and one of the things he was complaining about is that the shower sling does not come with the starter kit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it's I don't know how you're supposed to. I think you have to clip it to your shower head.
Okay.
And it holds the tip of it up, so you can just stand there with this thing suspended, attached to your body. Right. And he was describing
hands-free penis enlargement.
Basically, but you have to use it 15 minutes a day, every day.
Fuck.
Permanently. Right. Yeah, that's a long time. Think about
dude.
These people have jobs and stuff.
Well, it's okay, man, I don't know.
I thought somebody was coming. So he's bitching about it not coming with the shower thing, and it was an extra $20 and whatever. So you hook it up, and it suspends it, right? And he's talking about his initial starting point, and I have seen people talking about I have this much length and this much girth.
Mm-hmm.
This guy had a string of numbers. It was like a paragraph of measurements, and I was like, I don't even know how you're supposed to interpret this shit. This is
dude, there's only 3 dimensions. What are you talking about? How are you doing this?
I don't know, man. So he's got this
strength, length, girth, strength,
agility.
Yes, exactly.
Whatever. So
I have a +15 perception for my prick.
But he is talking about it, and he's reviewing it, and he used it at least 5 times a week for 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. And he claims
that's dedication.
That it went from, which I thought, I was like, damn, dude, that's pretty good.
What were the gains?
Right? He started at, I only remember the length. I don't remember the girth measurement because it was written in a weird way. He went from a 5-incher, which is, pretty brutal for being honest here. right? Like think about that's like a beer can.
I mean, that's fully like ready to go, right?
Peak measurement, probably bone pressed.
Peak
also.
measurement, I like that. I always wondered what the measurement criteria was.
And to 6 1/4, which is
that's so over like 2 years.
25%.
Over 2 years, you had a 25% growth?
Yes, that was permanent because you use it so much. And he's bitching about it because when it's in the sucker, it's longer, right? But the dude was so mad. And there was people on there and they were
Bro, you just grew your dick by 25%. What are you talking about?
That's like literally whatever. So the people on the thread were just like, like I would kill a man for that penis. And stuff like that, right? And I'm reading this and it was on B. It was on, the random board, which is one of the worst places in the world.
Naturally.
And I'm going through and I'm like, dude, what even, like, whatever. And I couldn't get it out of my head. This just like furious guy, right? And it's like, no, he could have like a horse dick attached to him, and he would still be
bitching about it some way or another.
Whatever. And I was laughing about it. Just at like midnight, Rachel's asleep, Logan's asleep, everyone's asleep, and I'm just,
sitting there giggling over the 25% gains.
Well, no, it's not even that. It was just his attitude, because it was like my steak is too juicy and my potatoes are too tasty. That's like literally the like, I don't know. I mean, I was also, the other things one of the things I saw earlier in the week that really annoyed me, which was a question. And it was like a human, like a modern human versus a primitive human in a fight.
Okay.
And they were
how primitive?
Well, they were talking about specifically like the differentiation between like right when there were like Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, and Cro-Magnons, like that like era. Okay. And they were saying like basically everybody rightly agreed that any early Homo sapien would just get like destroyed by like anyone in shape.
Well, actually, it'd be like fighting a retarded guy.
Well, it wouldn't even be. It'd be fighting like a child. They're so small, right?
Yeah.
So I started talking about Neanderthals. Okay. Which this was a thing that I was like getting triggered reading people, and you would literally think Neanderthals were like Superman if you
read those.
The general consensus of people online, truly insane. Like, you read what they're saying, and while they were shorter, they had better leverage in their bones, and there was a person claiming that if a Neanderthal were alive today, that they would be as strong or stronger than a modern day NFL lineman.
Oh,
fucking no! They're 5'2".
Okay,
not gonna no.
So they would fall into the fuck it category.
They got fucked and eaten out of existence by people smaller than us. So no, they wouldn't. That's the Neanderthals couldn't throw shit. Their shoulders, like, this is the way Neanderthals hunted is they had a bunch of them and they would beat stuff to death with rocks or hit it with clubs.
There you go.
Okay? Their shoulders did not allow them the movement to throw. So it's like, you think what are they going to do in a fight?
Dude, right? That's it. If you get up close to them, you might get some jabs. But
it's not even, think about it. It's besides even that.
I'm trying to figure out the range of motion.
So just say that they are capable, they have the same range of motion as you, the same whatever. Say that on average, if they had the same strength training and food as you, they would be shorter but stronger. Okay? But they don't. They're eating rocks and fucking bugs and stuff. Right in the woods of wherever the fuck they're from. They're like 5'2" or 5'4". Okay,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
That's what I'm saying. You could take the toughest 5'4" person in the world.
Yeah, dude, you got a 24-inch reach. I don't care.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You just kick you until, like, what the fuck, man.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
These guys, and they're talking about these people, and it's like this just weird, like, going on about, like, the leverage. So, like, even if you had more muscle mass than them, they would still be stronger than you because of like the way their joints are designed, whatever. And it's like, I'm listening, I'm reading these things and whatever, and I looked up videos about it because I wanted to make sure I wasn't insane, right? And shout out to North02 YouTuber. You should watch his stuff. Very good.
Thank you, North.
He was making stone tools to throw at ballistic gel dummies, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. And but he was, he had the comparisons to like Neanderthals and Homo sapiens and Cro-Magnon and stuff. But it is truly one of those things where the only thing you think of, like, most people apparently when they think of Neanderthal is like a gigantic muscle bound like ape man,
like a Jersey Italian.
It's Bigfoot. That's what they're thinking. They're literally thinking of like Superman Bigfoot. It's insane, and I was far angrier than I should have been, and I was like, you don't even fucking get it,
You
right?
fucking know.
Well, it's like the same shit with the gorilla versus grizzly bear thing.
Oh yeah, dude, that thing
like,
drives me up a fucking wall.
And everyone says, and this goes to the Neanderthal thing. They're like, well, yeah, but like, imagine like a gorilla could like choke out a grizzly bear. It's like, no, it can't. It's a fucking gorilla. If a gorilla could choke something out, a gorilla would have choked out another gorilla.
Yeah.
Right. If you're just talking about like, what if you taught it martial arts that is so far out of its understanding of like its little idiot brain?
Right.
What about a bear? What if you taught a bear how to choke a gorilla?
Yeah, dude, the bear's got 6-inch knives taped to its fucking hands.
Not even that. What if you taught a bear how to choke a gorilla out?
Well, then it would choke a gorilla out.
Okay, this is arbitrary. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Right.
So, yes, there you go.
The whole like grizzly versus gorilla thing rides me wrong.
Well, it's just like such a stupid argument because it's like, well, dude, you see how like a gorilla like jumps and whatever,
right?
But gorillas don't fight to the death. They run into each other until one's like, all right, I'm done.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's whatever. It's also I've been next to all of them, and maybe I'm stupid. I think if you gave me enough time, I don't think I could win, but I think I could at least make a gorilla earn my respect. Like I'm not. No, I would lose.
He would respect you before he killed you.
I think a grizzly bear, I wouldn't even exist. It would be like a thought, and I think like that. Whatever. But the other thing I was reading about is like when Socrates, do you know like when he got fucking got by the whatever Greeks?
Some Greekland.
So he was being tried for his
homosexuality.
No, for his corrupting the youth was his trial because
homosexuality.
Yeah, there you go. But he was basically like, okay, so it was all this philosophy, stop it, because you're like turning the youth against the gods, because it was like you should think some or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
But they apparently the way that the trial was like kind of done is they were like, hey, in 6 months, wink wink, we're gonna have a trial, wink wink, where you could be put to death. And the intention was for him to like just leave.
All right, see ya.
Right?
Dip out.
So he's old, like 65.
Okay,
and that's old as fuck back then.
Premium homo.
Right, and he was also. I mean, this was Greece, so they were that back then. They would do the thing where they would take a young boy and they would oil his thighs and fuck his thighs. That was how the Greeks rolled.
Hot tea.
Yes,
bro.
and also it was when you were a child, getting essentially molested by old Greek men was fine. But if you were an adult and you took it in the butt, you were gay as hell. That was literally what it was. That was just fine. Whatever. But so Socrates is getting. And they're literally being like, you are a universally respected member of society, and we're telling you that you should skip town.
Right.
And it's like, oh no, he's gone. We can't try him. It's just you're an old guy. Like a lot of us agree with you, even if we don't understand it. Like you're not doing anything wrong.
Sure.
So apparently, the way it's portrayed in history, I took a bunch of classes about it in college and high school and stuff, and they were like, he felt so strongly about his beliefs that
he wanted to stand trial or whatever.
I agree that had he not died, probably would not be as impactful as a story. Okay? That is true because he was willing to die for what he believed in, right?
Yeah.
But I was reading, I'd never seen it before. There was an account of one of his like friends who was like a confidant, right? And he was like, this is what Socrates told me like in the 6 months leading up to it. And I understand that maybe there's translation errors.
Sure.
I understand that there is an objectively better way to interpret it than I interpreted it. Okay? But he was describing about how Socrates, the thing that set him apart from everyone else in the world was that he had this voice in his head that he always listened to. Okay, so like it'd be like if you were like, I'm gonna fucking ask this girl out, right? Socrates would have the same thought, and he would always listen to it. That's what set him apart. That's what made him whatever. And he didn't know if it was what he described as the anima, which is like the will of whatever, or like a god talking to him, or whatever. But he always listened to it. I mean, clearly something went right.
You know his name now.
Exactly. But he's describing this, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, this sounds kind of weird, right? And it's
if I did that, it'd be in jail.
No, wait. Listen, it's not telling him what to do.
Okay.
It's telling him what not to do.
Really?
Okay. So how would you interpret that statement?
Well,
if it was like, if I'm like, hey, turn left or right.
Right.
And it's like I'm gonna go right, and it's like no, turn left.
Yeah,
right?
that is the exact opposite of the voice I hear.
Okay, but just think about it, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's you've got that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Apparently,
Interesting.
but wait, you'll understand what I'm saying in a minute. So he always listened to it, always did what it said. So if he had an idea and it said don't do it, he didn't do it.
Okay.
Right? And basically he goes through this big long whatever, and it's not really, it's kind of boring and just whatever, and it's
Sure,
like melodramatic, and I mean I guess he's dying, but whatever. And he comes to the conclusion that he should run away.
Okay.
And the voice is like, no, don't do that. And he justifies all of this shit. Okay? And then he expounds on it later. So he justifies it as, I'm old, I've had a good life, I need to die for what I believe. Whatever,
Sure.
right? But that was not what he said. That was what his friend was like
Portraying to everyone.
Extrapolating from the statement.
Sure.
Then later on, there was the exact quote. I don't remember the exact, or not exact quote. It was as close to the exact quote as you could get. And I realized that Socrates thought he had some profound thing going on. He was just lazy. It was like, don't do that. Don't do it. Literally, that's what it was. It was like, you could run away from this and whatever. And it's like, just stay here. You might as well die. And stuff like, literally, that's what it was. So I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, damn, dude, like the father of psychology literally was guided by, he's a schizophrenic old man.
Right.
Who made his lazy personality into a god that has guided Western culture for 2,000 years.
Jeez, dude.
So think about
basically that. Karl Marx, right?
I mean, this is even way more than that. This is literally
just don't do it.
Literally, just like, I'd rather not, and then he died. That was you could move out of town. You could go out of the wall, and we wouldn't kill you. And he's laying on the ground, and the voice is like, come on, dude, just lay down. And he's like, the gods are speaking to me.
Yes, time to go to sleep.
Fucking kill me.
Man, I could really use a large glass of white milk. Don't.
No, dude, it would be like, man, I could really be nice to my grandchildren. You need a large glass of white milk. Whatever. But also, I want to do one or two more of these things. Mm-hmm. And
I got one.
Okay. But... so one of them here is that I am curious about this because I'm gonna go pee really quick.
I was gonna say I gotta pee too, but I'll keep you guys entertained because that's our job here at LGWM. To keep it rolling. So anyway, I guess since I got the one, he'll come back. He'll probably join into it. But I was on my way to work one day, and I got to travel 40 miles on the worst road ever created by any man, at least in the Midwest. I got to travel south on 75. And every single day that I travel on the road, I contemplate just driving off the road. Or running into people. Because, dude, that is literally the worst drive anyone could ever have. Because you got people braking for, like, the sunlight. And it's like, it makes road rage so much more sensible. Like, I get it now. Like, when you see these stories, like, yeah, I could see that. This, like, white, brand new Jeep Compass with, like, a, 20-year-old girl going to her coffee job, like, braking because the sun's too bright. It's like, yeah, okay, I could kill you. Like, I see that, right? But anyway, Grant came back from his pee break. I gotta take my pee break.
Yes. Now you get the serenading voice of me telling you about an awesome dream I had. So I had a dream the other day that was so disturbing that it woke me up or when I woke up I was like, damn, dude, am I like a murderer? So in this dream, I'm going through a neighborhood and I have the Anton Chigurh captive bolt gun and I'm knocking on people's doors and they're like excited to see me. And I'm just there, like, we walk into their living room and they have like a reclining chair and they sit down and they're making small talk with me. And then I go like, all right. And then I just pop them right in the head and blow their brains out. And that happened like 5 or 6 houses in a row until and it was, kids, women, old people. And I get to the final house and it's this guy and he's talking to me and we go into his bathroom instead of his living room. And I didn't have the captive bolt gun anymore. I had an electric, like a big, like wheel around Milwaukee drain snake, and I jammed it into his stomach and like fucked his shit up and like ground his insides up with the thing. And he was like screaming and there was blood everywhere. And I pulled the drain snake out and I could like see like chunks of his meat and stuff on the actual like drain snake itself. And so I woke up and I was thinking about maybe if I was like a murderer or something, but I don't know, that lasted about like 6 hours, and then I decided it was probably just a weird dream. So
practice like getting ready for those like bathtub abortions with a dragon snake.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was just like, it was like, I mean, literally, it was like, hey, how's it going? Like, you know, like, having a good day, whatever. Like, all right, I'm ready. And just, and I remember it went in like right in his abdomen, and it started going up, and I was like feeding it in, and he goes, like, whatever.
You
and,
just kept going.
Yeah, and then I pulled it out, and there was like a chunk of something,
nice
whatever,
chunk of
and then,
meats.
Yeah, and then I woke up. So I guess if you need that, give me a call. But we also had the thing I wanted to talk about, and this was, I'm gonna do two really quick, and then you can whatever. I don't know if you gave yours or not.
Rapid fire.
So you know how there's like there's like a holy war, like the Sunni or Shiite Muslims, whatever, holy war, jihad, whatever.
Yeah, since the beginning of time.
It's also like you are allowed to do things that you would not be allowed to do otherwise in order to accomplish the goal. Right. So like you could go to a strip club to gather intelligence, and that would be haram before whatever. And that was like the guys who supposedly blew up the Twin Towers, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll have a nice 9/11 episode someday.
100%.
But
son's born on 9/11, so
yeah, maybe he was a what was
day.
The guy that Rachel? What was the guy who flew the plane into the Twin Towers' name?
I don't
know. Then get out of here. But the guy, they found his passport conveniently in the rubble. It was like, like literally, it was like just like generic Muslim name. But that guy,
literally,
no,
generic,
like for real.
Yes.
It was like a name that was conveniently memorable enough for every white American to kind of know.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah, and Holy War, whatever. They before 9/11, they went to a strip club because it was basically like you get one haram night before you complete your task.
Ah, interesting.
So that was like one of the
Ziad Jahara.
No, there's another one. His name starts with an A. If you gave me enough time, I could probably come up.
Okay, we can cover that at a different time.
Whatever. So they were at a strip club, whatever, they blew a plane. So I was thinking about this, okay? And I was thinking about if you started a Westboro Baptist Church.
Sure.
Extremely fundamentalist Christian.
Okay.
And you created your own version of jihad against Islam.
Okay.
Okay, so put yourself in those shoes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm thinking about it. I was reading some of the and I am certain that this is not representative of all 1 billion Muslim people out there, okay? Let me put that out there to start with, but I was reading about how apparently it's like if you have ever had gay sex, you go to hell permanently.
Sure.
Okay? So, what if you started your Westboro Baptist church and hired a bunch of gay rapists and just sent them out?
Bro.
Okay, and just started gay raping all of the fundamentalist Islam guys.
Dude.
So you're damning them to hell immediately, right? So you have like rape squads rolling through the streets of
like with a baklava.
Yeah,
and they're like, all right, let's
like one of those like Toyota pickup trucks with machine guns, but it's like a net gun and like a bunch of lube and stuff.
Yeah,
and
tasers and everyone's kind of ready.
What about that? What would you think of that? Is that a good idea?
I think that would be pretty effective, right? Because I wonder what like they're not very big people.
No,
you know?
but if you're one of them and you get raped, I mean, are you going to spend the rest of your life like trying to atone for being gay?
No, they could turn it into more jihads. Like, well, I'm already going to hell, so might as well just go blow some shit up.
But that's not really your problem because you're damning them to hell. Right, if there's the threat of the gay rapists out there, they probably would stop.
Interesting.
I'm wondering if it
would at least divert their attention.
I don't
from
know.
Other
that's kind of
things.
whatever. So I was thinking about that. It was a thought that popped into my head.
Dude, a thought that popped into my head while I was taking a piss is the toilet you got. That's like the perfect thing to do, like the reverse shit while eating a bowl of cereal.
That is a long toilet.
It's a long toilet, and like the top of the tank is like completely flat, so you could have a buffet on the back, turn around, and then eat.
Like you eat so much that you shit. You eat so much you have to shit. And then
exactly.
Turn around and shit.
Exactly.
That's the way to go.
Which I can't remember if it was a Whitest Kids You Know episode or whatever. But I remember seeing that, like the reverse toilet shit and eat a bowl of cereal, and the like skit was he got up first thing in the morning. I'm like, man, what are you gonna do with your boner? Like when you turn around, like wouldn't that hit the back of the toilet? That'd be fucking gross.
Nah, dude. Wait, you don't just dip your dick in the toilet every morning? That's not normal.
Oh, dude, I got that problem all the time.
Yeah. Me and the bath mate. Right?
Yeah.
No. So the other one I wanted to ask was because this is tangentially related to what I just talked about because it's just religion in general, right? So I was thinking about, may he rest in peace, King Cobra, JFS.
Amen.
And obviously he's retarded, right? Like he's just the guy's retarded.
Yeah.
Like, he was. I think he was funny, okay,
right,
and I think he maybe got abused more than he should have.
But
he was fucking retarded, okay, and like both like willingly and unwillingly. Like he had enough like cognition to control himself to not be obsessed with like Ozzy Osbourne to that level. Okay?
Right.
Okay. Whatever. Brings me to my point. Okay. So fundamentalist Christian church.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you're into like evil Satan black metal,
okay,
you go to hell.
Okay.
Right? Where is the line on how retarded you can be and still be into sick Satan stuff and not go to hell?
Well, and be forgiven for being retarded.
I'm saying
like,
that
you just don't know any
retardation overcomes the Satan, right? And I'm talking like because that's what made me wonder about King Cobra. And it's like, imagine we're in like Kingdom Come Deliverance era Christianity. That's the truth, right? Like I would consider. I'd say that you're a nice 8.5 out of 10 Christian. I'd say maybe I'm a 6 out of 10, maybe a passing grade. That's all I need to be.
Sure, right.
Okay, so he would be like a 1. Okay, because he's like
but he's got an IQ of like 45.
That's what I'm saying. So imagine. I mean, you've hello fellow Henrys. You've played Jesus Christ Be Praised.
Yes.
Hello, I'm hungry. This Kingdom Come Deliverance. What is like the where is the cutoff, right? Because I mean, like if you're which is the Catholic one that the like judges you, Peter or Paul or something.
At the gate, at the pearly gates.
Yes.
Peter or Paul.
Yeah, one of those two. Also, do you think
St. Peter's at the pearly gates?
In gay guy heaven, is it the burly gates and it's a big bear that's like, come here, buddy? What do you think of that?
The burly gates. Yes.
But
St. Peter could deadlift 500 pounds.
Exactly. So you get there and you're like wearing your like cum-stained Ozzy Osbourne shirt.
And they do an initial scan and they're like, well, you're under 85, so like...
This is what I'm saying, though, because I think Cobes, he's rocking out in hell with Ozzy, and in as nice of a way as you can be, right?
Sure.
Like, that's what I'm... like. But imagine, like... And I have seen these with my eyes, so this is not just me being mean. I have seen, like, barely functional retarded people that are wearing, like... whatever band that Varg guy was in that like burnt down the churches in Iceland, like his band, like is it some of the? I need to look it up to make sure I get it right because it was the I mean that dude literally that Varg guy. He is also insane, right? And he do you know anything about this guy?
No, I don't.
Do you know anything about that death metal scene?
No.
Okay, there was a band.
I know of Rammstein.
No, that's not even death metal.
Okay.
So there's a band.
No.
There's a band that the singer was called. His name was Death. Okay. And they the names are all just like this is like such gay performative stuff that it's just like ugh. But I know about it because
how much of the population are we really appealing to? I mean, like
more than you would think.
Really?
Okay, but just let me finish explaining it, and you'll understand why.
Okay.
So there was.
I was saying you really pulled it together with the Socrates thing, like that really laid it home.
So there was a band that was called. I don't even fucking know what it was called. It was called like. I got to disconnect from my Wi-Fi because I got a new phone, so it just doesn't fucking work apparently. So Varg's band is Burzum, and that was it's Burzum. That is the shirt.
Okay.
And just keep that in the back of your mind.
All right.
The album of Burzum.
Okay.
That a retarded guy that was so retarded that he would escape containment from the handlers at school and put ice cubes down girls' shirts. Not in a sexual way, like in a retarded way.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're talking like 45, 50 maybe.
I'm talking like impossible to live alone ever. I'm talking like a dog,
retarded,
like a dog.
Yeah.
To quote Stavros Halkias from Cumtown, the type of thing where you're trying to figure out if retarded people can be sad, and you go, well, dogs can be sad. Like that is
okay.
Like,
that's a good correlation.
Right?
All right.
So anyways, so he is in this band that was, God, what the fuck was the band's name? He was in a band with this guy named Euronymous, and I don't even know.
Greek. Interesting.
Hold on. The band is called Mayhem, and that was like the first like foundation. It's like Nirvana to grunge.
Okay.
Mayhem to black metal, I guess.
Sure.
And their singer's name is Yngwie Olin, or Dead.
Okay.
And he was obsessed with death and would like sleep with dead birds that smelled like shit and be like, I want to be closer to death. And like, it just, I mean, these are like, my opinion as an adult is they're like edgy fags who are whatever.
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
Clearly mentally ill.
Naturally.
Okay. So you've got Euronymous, Dead, and I don't even.
Euronymous Dead.
and apparently Varg called himself Count Grishnak at the time. So like these are some real like, and these are all
that's
like,
a Sesame Street name.
These are all like skinny, fat, like ugly, fucked up looking, like balding at like 20, like fucked up, like the type of like you would, if this was Viking times, you would have been left behind with the women. This is what these people were. Okay, so these guys are the death or dead or whatever the fuck his name is. He's like hanging out with dead birds and maggots, and he would like, it's like painful to recall the details because I find it so incredibly cringe. It's like physically painful. And so he would bury his clothes. Okay. And like go perform in like dirty clothes and like paint himself white so he looked like a dead dude.
Okay.
Right. And whatever. So they release these albums that are purposely recorded with like the shittiest recording ever. And there was one of them I tried listening to because when I was younger, I liked metal like Pantera and like I don't.
Yeah, but like the good metal.
I mean,
so
there's like fucking like white trash shit. Like
yeah,
but like it makes you like Walk by Pantera, great song, right? Cowboys from Hell, great song, and it's like the type of thing where it's like even if you don't like it, you can see why someone would like it, right? And I'm listening to this stuff, and dude, it was not even the music, just the recording was so bad I couldn't handle it. Like I'm talking like you could hear like feedback from amplifiers and like shit, and it's like it was one of those things where my like insano analysis of them was that they knew that they weren't really that good, so they were doing all of these things to distract you from the content of what was there.
Okay, yeah.
Because if you recorded it with the best fidelity possible, you'd be like, wow, this kind of sucks.
Sure.
But if you record it with like the shittiest,
and you just feed into the whole.
No, you just record it with like if I turned this amp on and I fucked up the settings and I played you shitty music, but then I dressed up like a dead guy and told you I wanted to be dead, and this is like fucking Tales from the Grave, and you better be scared and also
Satan, I get it.
Somebody would fall for it. That's what I'm saying, and that's what all these idiots fall for.
Right.
You don't like it. You like the idea of it. That's what it is. So they all live together in a house or something. They're gay and fucking Norwegian and just being gay, right? And they live in this house, and the Euronymous guy is like literally worm tongue from Lord of the Rings, apparently.
Okay.
And
yeah.
You should kill yourself. And the dead guy shoots himself in the head and dies. So Euronymous walks in with a camera, takes a picture of the suicide scene, picks up little clips of his brain matter and stuff, and turns them into necklaces and sells them to fans. Then uses the suicide picture of the guy as the album cover. And you can buy it's fucked up, like truly, like insanely fucked up. Okay?
I mean that's commitment, but wow,
insane. Varg and this other guy, like either they finish the album, I don't fucking know. Euronymous stops being in a band after or something and owns like a record store.
Okay.
And him and Varg are like feuding. They all like fucking hate each other.
Naturally.
So basically, I don't understand the steps in between. Varg drives to the record store that Euronymous works at and just kills him with a knife.
Oh, okay.
So he's in prison for that, but I don't think that's why he's in prison, because Varg also burnt down 1,200-year-old Christian churches like 5 or 6 times. Like basically like national heritage sites.
Yeah.
Because like
they're 1,000 fucking years old.
Like that's his reason. Like it's just like Satan is sick and like burns down whatever. And music still sounds like shit. Will say, if you put a gun to my head and made me listen to an album, still would listen to Varg's album because at least it doesn't give me a headache from the feedback. Okay? So, going back to it, there's a retarded kid wearing a suicide enjoyer murderer church burners Satan shirt.
Yep.
Does that guy go to hell? Is it his fault?
I personally, I don't think so, because there is a passage that says Beware of those who draw people away from me. It's better for you to have a millstone tied around your neck and thrown into the sea. So, when you're taking
right.
advantage of people like that, right?
You go to extra hell.
Yes, exactly.
Retarded guy, 45 IQ, Burzum shirt, convinced to be Satan Man. How many Satan Mans does he have to do?
Well, I'm gonna say they're just probably gonna throw him into like the level one level. We're going bottom up. He's gonna be in like level 96 purgatory, and then he'd probably be fine. Maybe like the outskirts of hell.
But like, okay, unrelated to this question, do you like unretard when you go to the afterlife, or are you just stuck as a retard forever? I think there's some form of reincarnation, and that's a punishment for being a naughty boy, or you are such a good boy that you get just the bliss of oblivion for another cycle.
That's the thing I always thought about, because I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian my whole life, but like everyone's like, "There's nothing after it. It's just oblivion." I'm like, does that really sound that bad?
I am with you. That's what
I
remember.
Nothing. I can just close my eyes, it all be over, and just nothing.
Before you were born, there's nothing. I
exactly. Remember being what's the fucking problem, guys?
I remember being in Lutheran school and sitting there and having a panic attack as like an 8-year-old as they're telling me it's going to be forever and it never ends. And I was like, dude, I'd rather there not be anything. I'd rather, if it's forever and it never ends of whatever or nothing, I'd rather it just go dark.
Bro, just hit the light switch.
That's what, exactly.
You know? So I mean, like, what could be so bad? Everyone's like, there's nothing after. I'm like, who fucking cares, bro?
And then it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So you're sitting there, it's all dark.
Okay, but that's not the world that this is taking place.
Exactly.
In this place, answer the question. 45 IQ, Burzum shirt, rat tail, ice down the girl shirt.
I believe the Lord is more merciful than we could possibly imagine. So I think he's taking them towards home, brother.
But are they retarded?
Yes.
After. So they're
still... in the afterlife?
Yes.
No, but to the point where all this... I think they get the same amount of, like, processing power as anyone else. I don't think there's the
communist
same
heaven is where you're going.
It is communist heaven, yes.
I don't know. I think...
all souls be soul. You think you're still retarded in heaven?
I don't know,
you think
man.
You're still retarded in heaven?
I've not really thought about it all that much.
Peter,
let me in. I think that if they were made in the image of God, they maybe were made on one of God's bad days, was my thought. And that's the way he meant for you to be. So maybe you get extra Burzum shirts.
So do you think it's improportional? You know, when you're bisecting an angle and how it's 30 degrees here and it's 150 degrees.
So you think they're extra smart in heaven?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it a bisecting angle?
I would be like retarded in heaven.
Yes, exactly.
I go to heaven and I'm wearing the Burzum
shirt.
Right.
You're like exactly. Like, is heaven a bisecting angle?
I don't know. I think I don't have much of an opinion on it. I think that I wanted your opinion because I think that it would be more important for you to have an opinion than me. Because
I honestly think that anyone that gets into heaven, you're just sitting there, and honestly, it is communist heaven. Everyone's the same. It's just you're just there.
I think ideally, supernatural version of heaven where each person has like their own. You remember that or not?
No, dude. Okay. My wife won't let me finish the fucking show.
Sit that bitch down.
I'm about to. She's like, we just finished Game of Thrones. I'm like, dude, we're watching Supernatural. I just saw a video of Gene Apples pull the rocks for down her brother, and I was like, I gotta watch this.
Well, there's a thing when he goes to heaven. I don't even whatever, they're in heaven.
The shit lasted for 25 years.
So and like their heaven is, it's like a separate sphere for each person of like what is ideal for them.
So like Mormon heaven?
I don't know enough about Mormons to tell you, but I'm talking like, imagine like a hotel.
Yeah.
Okay, and
everyone gets their own hotel.
But each room is like a world that's ideal for you, and you can go to everyone's room or whatever. Okay, that's whatever. And
mine would be the one guy's 2000s Wendy's Baconators.
Yeah, well, the one guy's this guy might be your heaven. It was a dive bar with only him and his mom. And
Mom, I love you, but son of a bitch, no.
I mean, they could leave, whatever. But it was
right.
The whole thing was.
Dad's here to pick you up. Why'd you go head out?
That's kind of the point of it. So that's kind of what I'm picturing.
Okay.
But you're still like, maybe not spiritually retarded, but you're mentally retarded. But you're happy and you're. But I don't know. I think it's like, imagine though, because it's like, if there's a heaven. That's where the dogs go.
Sure.
Right? Are dogs made into not dogs anymore?
Think about it. Think about it this way. Okay, so you're a retard on Earth. You're a genius on Earth.
I guess
you're happy on Earth. You're happy.
To be fair, though, what you're saying is, and I agree with even maybe if this is from like a video game perspective, your spirit is greater than your physical body. So
right
there you go. You put it to bed. They're not retarded in heaven.
There you go. We figured it out.
But so now back to the actual question for all of this.
Yes.
Okay. 85 or 45 IQ retard.
Okay.
Is it possible?
This is like big teeth sticking out the wrong way.
I'm talking like the type of thing where you're afraid to make eye contact, so they might interact with you.
All right. Okay. So like the guy I hit the dude at school because he was drilling on me.
No, I'm talking like the guy that
I'm just kidding. I didn't do that.
They had chained to the helper collecting paper at high school.
Okay.
Like the screaming when you hear him in the hallway screaming like that. Okay.
You're like, oh fuck.
Is it possible for them to do enough crimes and things to go to hell?
Well,
and I let me clarify. I understand that maybe like I understand that they would have to be smart enough to understand that
what they were doing is wrong, right?
No. For them to 99.9% of the time, for them to continue on with a pattern of these like super satanic acts,
sure,
they would have to be smart enough to understand that they could use being retarded as a shield in this circumstance, okay? But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one, right? Say there was like Mecha Hitler retard, okay? And they're like, I need to kill dogs and children, okay? But they don't can you be retarded enough to go to hell by crime? You get
like they don't understand what they're doing is wrong,
and they continually do it. Yes.
So they don't understand what they're doing is wrong, and they continually do it.
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
So you think if they shot up 50 churches and killed 5,000 people, and they didn't understand it was wrong, they wouldn't go to hell? I think there's a point. I think once you cross like 3 or 4, whatever,
you get 3 or 4 bodies, you're on hell.
Yeah, that's kind of what that's my. I think your answer should be that God wouldn't let that happen.
Well, the thing is that right, like he's more merciful than you can know, and the thing is like I honestly I don't know. I don't know. I know that you just grabbed the 101, and I wanted a little sips, but
there's plenty left.
I don't think so. I honestly, because can you really commit a crime or a sin if you don't know if it's a crime or a sin?
If a lion killed 10,000 zebras.
Exactly. That's its nature, but it's not actually its nature.
What if it's a violent retard? Just violent like a...
Yes, that fucker's going to hell. I don't like them.
This is some good food for thought. So all you guys that driving your trucks?
Exactly. Driving your trucks. Next time you need something, you're hungry for some content or whatnot, just reach for a large glass of white milk and you'll get it.
I might have one more.
Okay.
So and then we'll end it here in a second because I want a hot dog.
Well, I got one to interject
here. 1
here.
second.
No, I'm gonna say it now. Okay. You can't stop me.
This isn't even really much of a back and forth.
Okay.
But I was reading a thing, or I was on probably a 4chan thread. I don't even know where this came from. This popped into my head. How bad left-leaning comics are, like web comics.
My gosh, dude.
No, I went to Reddit
and
I went to r/comics and I took the top one for the day. Okay, and I'm not even asking I want a genuine reaction. Okay. I want you to read this. I'm gonna hand you. I screenshotted it. Okay. And I want you to tell me, not even that it's bad, not even whatever. Is there a joke here?
Okay.
Was this, whatever this is, worth animating?
Okay.
Or I illustrating?
Sure.
Okay. Just look at it.
Okay.
And I don't want like a big reaction, whatever. Just read it. There's nothing there. That's the thing, and it's there's no joke. There's no nothing. It's not even really
this isn't even like propaganda or anything. This is literally nothing.
This is like a throwaway thought that
I'm gonna read it to our dedicated listeners here.
Yeah, Mr. Johnny D in Pakistan
Yes,
or whatever.
Jimmy Jahanid. So there's it's a illustrated cartoon. There's 4 sections. The first one is I Damo. What if I'm not really transgender? And then the next slide is what if I'm just confused and I don't know what I want? And then the waitress comes up to a table, there's 2 people sitting at a table and says, "What can I get for you ladies?" And the other person in the frame says, "She'll have the chicken, please."
There's no joke.
Yeah, it sounds that confusing because it is that confusing.
I was,
like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, it's just incoherent. That's the thing, and it's like I understand. Like, if you look at the art style, that's like clearly not. They didn't spend much time on it. They didn't whatever, and like I think that while I don't agree with you, right? Like I whatever. This is you probably and
I kind of get it because they put the googly eyes in there.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But it's like
it makes,
the lady's getting validation, but like still, this isn't a
it's
fucking
not a lady,
joke.
It's a tranny.
Yeah,
it's the they them gets validation, but my point of it is that like
I always get confused. I don't know if I just have that low of an IQ, but people be like a trans dude. I'm like,
no,
I got to do like the 2 times 2 is 4.
Well, a vast majority of them are guys to women.
What percentage is that? You know,
I
do you think it's the majority?
I would say I would put $1 billion on 75%.
It's just dudes that couldn't get pussy.
Yeah. Okay, because like, well, the loneliness-induced homosexuality, like that.
Dude, I downloaded the editing software, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this because I need to work that in, and then Elijah was being a little prick, so.
Well, we'll add that just before we post it, but I guess my point isn't even like because like not trying to be stupid or whatever. Like I understand the point of this, like it's affirming them not thinking they're enough of a woman to be trans or whatever.
Right.
But it's like the equivalent to that is like if I made a comic of me being like, man, I hope someone calls me sir today, and then at the gas station,
like, hello, sir.
Like, and it's like it's just such a like I guess the argument of that is that like
it's not a joke. I mean, to answer your initial question, there is no joke there. Yeah. Like that is not funny. That is like objectively not
funny. Well, it's just like a thing. It's like a statement. It's not even like a
whatever. Be like the grass is green, and he's like, okay, well,
yeah. It was like, man, I hope the sun's bright today, and you walk outside and the sun's bright, and you have a smiley face.
And you're like,
yeah. But that whole like, I don't know, man. That thing specifically, that was a very good encapsulation of every comic on there.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and all of them were just variations of stuff like that, and some of them would be like a straw man of like a right-leaning person and whatever. And I know it's Reddit, I know whatever. Then I found out also, and this is I almost didn't even want to bring this up. Okay, I'm not showing you the pictures because I had to see them, and I don't think you want to see them. But apparently one of the like most popular people who makes these like weird lefty comics also has an OnlyFans.
What?
Okay, and it's like somehow the amorphous characters she draws are like exactly her body type, and it's like she's not fat, but she's like
is she like a $180 at 5'4"?
No. She's not fat.
Okay.
But the one picture I saw, if she had a wiener, I might think she was just like
a fat dude,
school boy. Okay, and like a I don't know. It was one of those things where I was like, how does your shittily drawn comic look exactly like your body? That was the thing.
I mean, that's impressive.
I know.
I mean, that's a talent right there. And really encapsulate.
Well, the thing, I'm like, dude, like how do you like? How do you? Why do you have an OnlyFans? Like, I don't like. Why would a like? Have you ever been like? I am consuming like an author's book and been like, I want to see them naked. Like that's like
that's never.
I don't understand how that comes up. I don't whatever and like.
Now, granted, you're 15 years old and you see like 007 for the first time, and you're like,
not that.
I'm gonna have to rewind and hit pause.
Not even claiming that. Okay. I understand what you're saying. I fully agree with you, but I'm talking about like. If you read like a real good article in the local newspaper and the woman's like middle-aged like
That's some chick shit, bro.
Dude, I don't know.
That's some chick shit.
The whole thing was, it was just one of those things where it was part of this. It was in like the thread on 4chan that I was reading, and like some of the stuff came up and whatever. But it was not good.
See, I'm too technologically illiterate to utilize Reddit and 4chan for their full possibilities.
Well,
I'm like an Instagram guy, so I really don't get the full depth of meaning for all these other things, because I'll be like, oh, let me check Reddit. I'm like, I don't know what I'm fucking doing.
Yeah, but
I have like,
I mean,
r/plumbing and r/knives.
Yeah, but even then, you still look on. Come on, don't no. Okay, good. Didn't stop.
Saved it.
The Tecuter fucking didn't like it, but I don't have any of that. I don't have Instagram. I don't have whatever.
Yeah.
I've just never had it. So
well, you're pure internet soul.
You know? No, I'm not. What I want to. This is not pure. I'm going to tell you what the first thing I ever saw. The first I remember with Matt.
Yep.
He showed me B.
Oh gosh,
the first thing we were.
You ever saw like at like what 14, 15?
I couldn't have been older than 14. I might have been 13.
Yeah.
Brian's house. Dad drunk asleep
Naturally.
in the chair. Mom at Jehovah's Witness church. We had the run of the house. All right. We go on the computer. Matt shows me 4chan.org/B/.
Oh my gosh,
okay?
dude.
The catalog, clicks the first thread.
Okay.
It's a guy with a 50 milliliter syringe sucking shit up and injecting it into his dick hole. Yep. That was the
dude.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes.
Dude.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And then I watched him argue.
I would never go on the internet ever again. Like, what the fuck?
I think that like made me just I don't know. Something happened where nothing
made
could
you
ever
an internet
phase
purist.
Me. Nothing could phase me ever again.
That was
so that was the first thing I saw on there. So and then every once in a while I'll go on there and I'll just make note of the things and add it into my mental registry.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the week, I'll sit there and I need a break from dealing with retarded old people at work, and I'll look something up that I pull out, something pops up in my head, and I go like, you know what? I do wonder. Whatever. And I look it up.
Hey, what about this? Do you think retards go to hell?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, yeah. But that was there was a long thought. Like that one was. I don't know if I could even pin down exactly what the genesis of that thought was. I think that was like a multi-year long series of events that just created this beautiful idea. So yes. But what do you have, Levi?
Well, I had that. I kind of brought it up earlier in the week. Driving down I-75 and stop-go traffic for literally fucking 40 minutes. And that Right In 2 came on. And, Tool fans, they're a special breed. They are the, epicenter of, forethought and foresight.
Well, they are very similar to my generic characterization of the death metal people, where it's like I like Tool, okay?
Yeah, so do I.
It's also
so do I. Let it be known that I like Tool a lot.
It is very obvious that the intention of their esoteric imagery is to make you feel smarter than you are.
Naturally,
that's what it is.
Period.
It's just
period. It's to make people with 85 feel like they're 120.
Yeah, be like, yeah, you wouldn't fucking get it because this is this worm man puking. That's actually an allegory for fucking capitalism,
which goes through everything. Because I remember one time in high school I was talking to this dipshit about some rap song by Chance the Rapper, and they were like, "You don't actually understand what he's saying, right?
Yeah, he's saying you should give black people money."
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, there was this comment on one of their songs, Right In 2. And I was reading it, and I was like, Tool fans, they're already eccentric. And you're like, oh, okay, they're weird, but how weird can they be? And there was the comment that was like, I played this for my mother as she was in a hospital bed, dying. Tears rolled down her face, and I squeezed her hand tightly. How beautiful is that? And all I can imagine is some 75-year-old broad hearing Distortion for the first time, just what the fuck fuck is this?
You mean somebody who has lived their life as piously as possible.
Yes.
And then they like see the gates of heaven, and their son is like, "Wait, mom, listen.
Hold
to
on
this.
1 second.
Yeah,
here's the Fibonacci sequence." And they're crying because they're like, "You're gonna damn me to hell.
Turn this shit off, son!" And they fly into heaven.
And then all of the supporting comments for that was like, "Wow, that's such a beautiful moment. You guys will have that forever." And it's just like, dude, what?
Yes, and that was that was one of the things I actually had written down. One of the first things I had written down was talking about the comments on like some of the YouTube videos, right? Because like
the comments or what's up?
Well, the one of them, I'm pulling up my notepad again here. I closed it out, but I wanted to. Okay, yeah. So the ZZ Top comments, right? Like that was the one that I would have to. I might not even bring it up. I might force Brian to do this with us one time.
Okay.
Because I guarantee you, if I said, "Hey, do you remember those ZZ Top comments?" I guarantee you he could.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it was like we were like 16, and both of us just sat there in awe of like the unabashed, just like purified racism. And it's like
of ZZ Top,
like not ZZ Top, the comments, but like page 16 YouTube comments.
Wow. And I've never gone past page 2.
That's where you get the good stuff, and that's again as there was a autoplay thing, and one of the things that popped up was a Jordan Peterson video, and I still maintain a lot of his stuff was very digestible for people.
Naturally.
He is literally the Joker now.
Is he really? I haven't seen anything in like 3 years.
Okay, he wears like Joker suits and
you know what? Like the half and half suits and shit like that. Yeah.
And like there was this whatever. The most recent video I was today actually like right before you guys got here. I was finishing watching him, and he was like this was from like 6 weeks ago, and I thought he was dead or dying or something.
He was at one point.
Like yes, but I'm talking about like I'm pretty sure he was on hospice again or whatever. But he was wearing like the Riddler jacket, like a purple Riddler jacket or something, and was talking about how the Tower of Babel is AI or something. And I just was like, I don't even know what you're fucking.
What are you even talking about?
Yeah, like this is just like old man yells at the clouds is like literally what this is at this point, but. His beginning stuff like biblical whatever was there was value there, so you go through it and you listen to it. Comments, dude, it's like I mean, dude, people talking about like not at all what he's saying and just being like, really heard you there, man. Be like, we should kill people you disagree with. I agree, and just shit like that. And you go through, but it's like there's every like flavor of the rainbow on there of like what people are taking away from these videos. And like one of the videos was literally like you should fucking wash your shit and not be a baby.
Yeah.
And one of them's like, I agree, my mom is ruining my life. So, what? Yeah, and it's like, I mean, you're gonna hear whatever you want. I don't know.
Right.
I guess that isn't a very good whatever, but I don't know. I think that 2 hours and 1 minute is a sufficient amount.
That's good. That is a large glass of white milk right there.
Of white milk, but so yeah, we're gonna try to do once a week, I think.
Yeah.
And according to my great plan, within about I don't know maybe 3 months, you maybe will have heard of us.
Exactly. So
goodbye.
Until then.